Well, welcome everybody. Welcome everybody to another episode of Only One Truth. Only One Truth. I'm trying to get myself set up here. I got some stuff I'm trying to put on the screen. There we go. With the phone number. So just in case you want to be a part of the conversation, you should definitely give us a call. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. We got a great topic that we're going to talk about tonight. But before we get started, before we go another item, I got to introduce these two wonderful people I got with me today. I'm just Raheem. I ain't nobody. I'm just a question asker. But to my second, over to my right, Sharon, tell everybody who you are, young lady, and where you're hailing from.
Hey, this is Sharon Gaylord, and I'm hailing from Columbia, South Carolina.
Good deal, good deal. And Rico, tell everybody who you are,
Hello.
brother, and where you're hailing from.
I'm old Rico Jackson from Anniston, Alabama.
Good deal. We're gonna talk about something tonight, and we're gonna dig into this thing, man, as deep as we can, and pull out some truth, because you all know there's only one truth, and we here to tell it. So people sometimes they take people for granted, and I got something for y'all. Hold on for a second, y'all bear with me just for 1 second. Um, there we go, Tiva.
Hey, hey.
What's up, lady? What's up, lady?
Tell everybody who you are, where you're
Hi,
hailing
how
from.
are you? Hi, everybody.
Hey.
I'm driving as y'all can see,
Uh huh.
but I can
What
pay
your what you at right?
attention.
Uh-huh. What state are you in? What
I
state?
can't hear you.
What state are you in?
I'm in California,
There you
but
go.
I'm
There you go.
driving through Mojave right now. I just left work in
Oh,
Tehachapi, so
there you go. Okay, we're gonna jump into this conversation. We're gonna jump into the thing and go as deep as we
the
can in it, and we're
reception
gonna
may
try
not
to.
be too good.
Oh, okay. We got you. We got you. We're gonna jump right into this thing, man. And we're gonna kick this thing off. And I want to ask y'all a question, and we're gonna start off by doing it like this. A lot of times, people they take certain individuals for granted, and they don't value their time. So our topic tonight is: do you value my time? Do you value my time? And if you do, how does a person show you that they do or that they don't value your time? Sharon, what do you say to that? Unmute. You're muted.
I think when it comes to valuing my time, that my time is valuable, and yes, I like to spend most of my time with my family, and
Mm-hmm.
some selected people that I call my friends. But I think that people can take advantage of your time and what they want you to do with your time. But I've learned to do what it is that I want to do with my time and just be more acceptable to doing the things that I want to do as versus what everybody else wants to do. Because
Mm-hmm.
I used to be that person that put everybody else first, and now I put me first.
Good deal. Good deal. Tiva, what do you say to that? How do you know whether someone is actually valuing your time or they're not valuing their time? And if they don't, what do you do? I think Tiva is
Yeah,
frozen
look
over
like
there.
she frozen up. She
I
said she
think
was
she
going through the
frozen.
Mojave Desert. There she go.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, she said she gonna keep on having some problem going through the desert.
Oh, okay. Let me, Rico, answer that question for me, man. How do you know whether somebody value your time, and if they don't, what do you do?
You'll know they value your time when they call you and invite you to things that they are doing or I'll put it to you this way, when they think to call you when they don't want something.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe when they call to offer you things, just to
Mm-hmm.
voluntarily say, hey, you know what I'm saying, I got something for you.
Mm-hmm.
That lets you know that they value you, that they appreciate you. And it's funny because I just went through the page that I'm on while I'm going through this stream. I'm only on this page every now and then, but I like to go through and look at my memories. And I catch myself sometimes being sharing the same thing on a cycle. It seems like for some reason, certain times of the year, I have a certain feeling, and I'll post something and then see something very similar. But this is what I
Mm-hmm.
posted 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Finding someone to talk to is hard, but having someone that actually feels you is harder. But do they appreciate the listener?
Mm.
Mm.
See,
Wow, that's
it's
good.
one thing, you know what I'm saying, to have somebody that can listen to you, but then when you find somebody that listens to you, do you really appreciate the fact that they took that time out to have that empathy and to have that concern to actually hear what is going on with you? I think you made a comment yesterday about having somebody to talk to and then having somebody that really listens. Is it good to respond all the time? And to be honest with you, if you're a good listener, I believe you will respond.
Yeah, yeah.
If you see what a problem or solution is, you know, I believe it's automatic that you will respond if you're listening, because that's letting them know that you're listening.
Exactly. And I'm gonna tell you something. And I had to get better at this because when me and my wife first got married, she'll be talking to me, man. And if I'm looking at the game or something like that, and she coming that she want to talk to me, she be talking. I'll be like, okay, and then she always would catch me say, "What did I just say?" You ain't listening. And so the thing about it, I'm trying to look at the game. You see me, I'm in front of the TV, I'm looking at the game, and here you come wanting to talk, and you want to give the attention, but at the same time, man, this Rico, this big play just happened, and you woo! There's a lot, but I said all that to say, man, am I really valuing her time though, or the time that we should be sitting and talk? If she coming there, evidently, if I'm looking at the game, showing how I love football and stuff like that, for her to come in there, she got something she want to tell me. She got something she want to talk about. And so do I value her time enough to stop this and turn and listen to what she's saying and give her the proper attention that she needs? Am I valuing her time? And truth of the matter, at that time I really wasn't. I really wasn't. And so that's I just wanted to put that out there. Tiva, unmute your line for me. Can you hear me? I don't think she can hear me right now. Tiva, can you hear me? Let's go. Sharon, what do you say to that, man? Because honestly speaking, truth of the matter, I was really being selfish. I was really being selfish because I didn't give her the time that she needed at the time. I had to learn and grow. And now something like that happened, I stop looking at the TV, or I just get the remote control, turn the TV off. Yeah, baby, what's going on? And I talk to her. You know what I mean? So, Sharon, what do you say to that?
I can say that happens. That does happen in life, right? Because I quite often have done the same thing. I mean, if I'm looking at a good movie and somebody come up and say something to me, it's like half my brain hear them and the other half don't, because I just want to get to that point in that movie, from what I'm seeing. So I think it's a natural response from humans as a whole, depending on what's going on at that time. So I don't think it's anything that anyone should guilt themselves for. I just think it's a human emotion.
Are we being fair?
Well, not at that. I mean, we're being selfish at that moment. I can say, yeah, you are being selfish at that moment. Maybe you should put more attention in, or either I should put more attention into listening to people when they're talking to me. But once again, I just say, when I get so wrapped up, sometimes I get so wrapped up in what I'm doing. Yeah, I can say that I completely block them out. It's like kids in the house playing, and you want, you want to look at TV, and sometimes you tend to block people out for whatever the reason is. You just block them out.
Wow, Rico, does that happen with us? We love sports. We love that competition. We love that competitiveness, and just the thrill of looking at that game and hopefully if our team is winning. Now, when she come in there, is she being selfish, knowing how much I love sports, knowing how much we love sports? Is she being selfish, coming in there, sitting beside you, want to talk to you at that moment?
Depending on what she want to talk about. I mean, that's with a child, with the wife, with the husband, anybody.
Because let me ask this: what if she just want to talk to you about something that they gossip on the job?
She ain't being considerate. See, all this is about being considerate of the other person, but at the same time, is it worth what you were coming to talk about? Is it worth you coming to me at this time? Because we all at one point in time had to learn how to focus. when we were in school as young children, when we were learning how to do our ABCs and do math and study and learn our spelling words, reading. Sometimes we might do it with the TV or the radio on. Sooner or later, we had to learn to tune that out. Maybe we were in a household where we didn't have any kind of calmness and there was a lot of chaos. But for you to get this work done because you want to make an A, because you want to play football or participate, you got to focus. Maybe you had to go outside. Maybe you had to get away from everybody, and everybody knew you was trying to get away from them so you could focus on what you were doing. Even if it's watching a game, you still focusing on what you're focusing on. And if they come bother you, they need to come with something that's worth interrupting. See, because that's what a person can be doing if that reason why they came to you isn't worth it. You know, might be an emergency. Somebody might be choking. You got to come up and get up and do the Heimlich. You got to do some CPR. That's worth coming to interrupt you for whatever you're doing. But it's going to be some times that as human beings, we learn how to focus on what we're interested in, whether it's a documentary, sports, soap operas. It might be worthless, but that's still what we're focused on at that time. So a lot of times children get ignored for that reason. I was one of those children that got ignored when the party or the company was around. And they was drinking and smoking or whatever. Go on, get out of here, start a grown folk business.
Yeah.
But I need something to tell you. One of them might pay attention. The rest of them, why that ain't nothing? Get out of here. You just trying to be nosy. Sometimes I was. Sometimes it was something I needed to tell them. So you get ignored when people are focusing on what they're doing, whether it's something serious or something recreational.
That's good. Steve, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, good deal. What do you say to this, Steve? Do people value your time, or what do you do when you find or you feel as though they're not valuing your time?
Oh, well, usually I would tell them this is not a good time to talk. You know what I'm saying? If I'm busy, because I want to give them my undivided attention and be able to hear what they're saying to me, and vice versa. If, like you guys was talking about, the woman going in there to talk to her husband or significant other, while he's watching football or, sports or whatever. I do think that's an inconvenient time to talk to him because you're not going to get his undivided attention. So you might as well sit there and enjoy the game with them. And, because that's what I would do. I want to enjoy the game with you, see what's happening there. And then when the time is right, especially if it's something heavy or endearing that I really need to talk to that person about, I want their undivided attention. So I'm basically going to wait until that time is right so I can really share my heart, especially if it's really something, that's going to make the relationship better. I'm not going to come and disrupt his time while he's watching the game. I'm going to sit there and enjoy with him. Like, you want some popcorn with this game? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to enjoy the things that they like too. And then when it's time to really share, he'll be more apt to listen.
That's good.
That's my take on it.
Good deal. Good to Sean. What do you say? What do you say to that, man? A lot of times, we don't come at the right time. Okay, let me do it. Let's even change it like this. If you have some bad news that you want to tell somebody, some bad news that you need to tell them, and it's going to disrupt their whole day, how selective are you in when you tell them that bad news?
Well, I definitely wouldn't do it if they were at work, but if they were at home, I would just go ahead and just tell them. I would try to figure out the right wording to tell them, but it all depends on the place and the time when you deliver that blow, depending on what the bad news is.
Okay. Rico, is there a good time or a bad time?
It might depend on the person. You might say somebody is at work and you need to call them and tell them that their spouse or somebody is bad. You know how the police call and notify the family, they don't like to tell you on the phone, but then you can hear the people on the phone on the other end. Something happened to my baby.
Yeah.
They're going to scream and way before then. They already know. They try to tell you, no, man, we need to just meet you and talk to you. And then before it's over with, they have to just go ahead and tell them, well, we just found somebody. That's why we need to come talk to you. But pretty much, what I'm saying, they already know. But it depends on the situation, and how important it is, Like the loss of a family member, yeah, you know, man, that's a a real picky situation. You know, it's sticky.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it depends on how urgent it is, what type of emergency is it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Tiva, what do you say to that? Is there any right or wrong time to tell somebody bad news?
No, I think bad news just come when it comes. You know what I'm saying? Like if someone has passed away, there's, hey, that is the time. I don't care if you're having
Mm-hmm.
fun or whatever. It happened. You need to deal with it. Oh well, here it is. So I don't think bad news. No, I think it just happens. You know what I'm saying? So you can't stop badness. You can't stop somebody from dying. You can't stop somebody from being in an accident. Life happens.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not a bad time to bring that forth to somebody so they can, deal with the issue at hand. So yeah, no, I don't know. Any
Mm-hmm.
time is the right time. You know what I'm saying? Because
Exactly.
life happens and you have to deal with it at that moment. That's my take on it.
Good deal. Good deal.
Can't stop life.
Can't
You
stop
know.
life. You're absolutely right about that. Sharon, what if there's a certain person, say on the work for on your job, and every day you sit around, you talking to certain friends, and every time you're talking to friends or whatever, this one person always come by. I need you to come on here and do this. Man, that could have waited. They come in and they constantly coming in, almost like they're poking at you. What do you do in that situation? Because maybe I shouldn't ask you this question, but anyway, what would you do in that situation? Unmute.
In that situation, I would talk to the
If it comes
individual.
to, oh, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead,
Go
Sharon.
ahead.
I think T was talking.
No. She said, "Go ahead. Go ahead."
Oh, okay. In that situation, I would, I would talk to the individual. I would try to pull them to the side.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, in my workplace, I like to have peace and harmony in my workplace. So if the situation is getting to the point to where it's really getting on my nerve, then I definitely will take and pull that person to the side and try to have a sensible conversation, an adult conversation with them, in
Mm-hmm.
hopes that what I say to them the right way, they will take it and not be offended by it. And then hopefully, we can move on past that point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really like to hurt people's feelings. That's just how I am. I don't like to do that. So I would take it nice and try to be nice and try to be polite about it to a
Mm-hmm.
degree. But I would
Okay.
be firm because I believe in being firm, fair, and consistent.
Rico, same situation happened with you, and you say, "Hey man, why you always doing that, man? You ain't valuing my time." And they look at you, say, "Man, your time ain't important. Come on, let's get this done."
Mm.
Oh man, they ain't never got to worry about me doing too much of nothing with them no more. I mean, what you gonna give what I give.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's about reciprocity to me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Everything got to be reciprocal. So
Mm-hmm.
if especially if I'm the type of person that listens to you when
Mm-hmm.
you going through something, now you need to be available for me when I need something. You get what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
if I'm respectful enough to not laugh, then you better not laugh when I tell you something that's going on with me serious. Because if you do,
Mm-hmm.
I might just wait and get me a little vengeance. I had a buddy, man, so-called buddy. I finally cut him off. I told you, man, it didn't matter to me if we have been friends 25 years, man. I cut him off cold turkey. And before I cut him off, he had been doing things in the past that let me know that he wasn't a listener.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he did listen, it was always to hear negative about me. I was like, you know what, man, I'm starting to believe that this cat was really hoping on my downfall the whole time. We had been friends. Sometimes people that surround you compete with you.
Yeah.
Or they get tired of people always saying your name, but at the same time, they friends with you, so it benefits them.
Mm-hmm.
So this same friend, he heard stuff about me, and then they come back and tell me that he heard it. But at this time, I remember I talked to him about stuff, man, and he laughed, and I'm like, man, that ain't funny.
Mm-hmm.
So he called me one day, man. After all these years, he done called me crying. I already had my mind made up. I can't wait to burn him. He called me and he told me, he was like, man, I'm mad, dog. I'm mad. I'm like, what's up, man? He was like, man, They don't caught my daughter in school giving oral sex. I sat there for a second, man. I said, ah! Then I said, oh, my bad, dog. I ain't mean to laugh, man. It was just funny the way you said it.
Mm.
I gave him a little bit of what he gives. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To let him know this is how I feel. Man, that ain't funny. That ain't oh dog. I ain't trying to that ain't funny, man. I'd be mad if that was my daughter. I ain't trying to laugh. It was just the way you said it, dog.
Yeah.
I had to give back to him, to let him know, look, man, you ain't been appreciating my time. I've been listening to you and having compassion for you and actually sympathizing, responding, being a good ear. And then come after all these years, I'm seeing that every time I go through something called you and talk about it, you only listening so you could have something to have against me.
Okay. Now watch this. Now how did that feel to you, Rico?
Man.
There you go.
Hey, man. I ain't gonna even lie to you, man. I was so disappointed all the times that he did do it. That it felt good. It felt better just knowing that he knew how it felt.
Yeah.
It felt good. No, I mean, because I didn't like the fact that his daughter was doing that. I knew if that would have been news that I had received that she was doing that in school, I would have been hot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But just knowing that he got a kick out of seeing me struggle sometimes, that gave me a kick to know, okay, now you know how I feel. To call somebody thinking that you could have somebody that you could relate to or sympathize with you, and then they laugh and then say that, oh, it's just the way you said it. That's how I respond to stuff. Now, I don't see you in pain.
Yeah.
I don't see when you really mad about something that you didn't disagree, that you didn't agree with. But now this is the way you respond. Nah, I'm fixing to give you some of that back with a little steroids.
and see the thing I tell people, I've been saying this for years, man. Always be able to digest what you feed. Be able to if you can't digest it, don't feed it, because it's coming back to you. Toussaint, good evening, sir. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing well, man. How about yourself? Good evening, everyone.
Hey, doing good. Toussaint, we're talking about a person. Do they value your time, and how do you act when you find someone that just does not value your time?
I don't give too many people my time. Period. Because of that reason.
Okay.
People are selfish. It's me, my, and I. We live in that type of society. So I pick and choose. So let me just share with you, brother. This is my nap time.
So I'm gonna make sure that while you're here, we're gonna value your time, brother. We appreciate you coming. We definitely gonna value your time.
Because I'm sleepy.
We all sleepy, brother. Believe me when I tell you. Man, look here. Sean and Rico, they almost dozed off before the show started. Man, I had to keep blowing the horn to keep them woke. Tiva, she can't go to sleep because she's just getting off work, so she can't go to sleep.
You better not go to sleep.
Exactly.
You can't sleep. I know you can't sleep and drive. That ain't gonna work out good for you.
Well, she might be in one of them Teslas or something. She might be in one of them Teslas. They drive for you, don't
I don't want none of them.
No.
No, sir.
Tiva, let me ask you this question. Now, we talk about other people that value your time. Do we value our own time? No.
Good question. Well, I think a lot of times we do value our time, but then again, if you're a person that likes to serve and likes to give and likes to do for others, then sometimes you may find it difficult to set boundaries. You're always saying yes to people. And I find myself being that person because I'm always the one, oh, what can I do to help you? Or what do you need? Or, and then I myself go neglected, because I'm always trying to be there for someone else, you know what I'm saying? So I would say yes in a way if you have that problem, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I would say yeah. Sometimes we don't.
Absolutely.
And then we give our time away to everybody else, and then by the time we do get some time to ourselves, we're too tired, to do anything
Mm-hmm.
for ourselves. All we want to do is sleep and, lay down somewhere, and the time we could be spending doing for ourselves, we're doing it for someone else. So, but that could also be satisfaction, being a blessing and a help to somebody else.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. That's
You
good.
know, I mean,
Sure.
it's like it could go both ways. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Yeah, exactly,
So yeah, I'm
exactly.
that person. I'm
Cool deal.
guilty. Mhm.
Good deal. Sharon, let me ask you something. Now, if we value our own time, why do we it often waste a lot of time?
I mean, looking for something else to do. I know with me, I'm always constantly on the go, on the go. I remember my mom telling me, when you gonna slow down and take some time to yourself? It's
Mm-hmm.
because, we just like to do different stuff, like to just, I can say me personally, I
Mm-hmm.
always like to feel like I'm busy. I feel like when I'm sitting around doing nothing, I'm wasting time and I could be doing something else. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
constantly on the go. When I stayed home for the weekend, everybody was like, "You okay? You feel all right?" And it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
that. It was just I just decided to take some time with me, and I was here,
Mm-hmm.
instead of on the road or in the air, as everybody says, going doing this, that, and the other. But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we go in so many different directions for everybody else. Till
Mm-hmm.
it comes a time when you got to start doing more for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, exactly. Rico, some would say while we sitting on Sundays, we'll look at 3 or 4 different games on Sunday. Some would say that we just sitting there wasting our time. Some people, because there's so many more productive things that we could do with that 6, 7, 8 hours, whatever it is, that we're sitting there looking in front of the TV, looking at a football, looking at somebody else play a sport. So are we really wasting our time?
It depends on what you value. It's funny that you go there because I was going there. And I can
Mm-hmm.
remember at one point in time where you couldn't get me to sit down and watch a whole football game.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't get me to do it because it was just hard for me to sit back and just watch somebody else doing stuff. And I
Mm-hmm.
always wanted to be on the go because I felt like I was missing something. But then the more I became a fan, the more I became a fanatic, and then I started getting into TV more, documentaries.
Mm-hmm.
See people, and it's funny when you said that we could say people are wasting our time, but then at the same time we could be wasting our time scrolling on the internet all day,
Yep. Yep.
Googling. You know what I'm saying? But we're
Mm-hmm.
doing what we like, so we don't
Mhm.
think we're wasting time because we're doing what we like, even
Mm-hmm.
though what we like is worthless.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
where the waste comes in. And like you said, it's non-productive. So
Mm-hmm.
you think about it. Man, it's been plenty of times you don't hit me up and been like, man, why you get off the line? I'm like, man, I ain't got time to sit back and just keep listening to people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's been plenty of times I got off and said that. And so,
Mm-hmm.
you think about when you have that mindset about your time being wasted, but then you look back and think about all the opportunities that you wasted spending time doing other worthless things
Mm-hmm.
in your lifetime. So you ask yourself, well, did I really value my time?
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna give it another spin. Some people value their time, but then they don't really understand I mean, they say they value their time, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how much time or how much can you really value your time if you're smoking cigarettes and drinking and texting and driving? If you're doing
Mm-hmm.
things that's gonna end up possibly ending your time on this planet
Yeah.
a lot sooner.
Mm-hmm.
You know what
That's
I'm
good.
saying? If you're just out here
Good.
having sex willingly with no
Mm-hmm.
protection, you're
Mm-hmm.
taking all these risks, doing
Yep.
what you like to do, living your best life, but you
Mm-hmm.
actually participating and cutting your time short. And we think we actually doing what we want to do and doing what we want to do, and spending our time doing what we want to do. Are we valuing our time seriously?
Mm-hmm. Almost like a suicide mission.
Foods we eat.
Yeah. 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 Mm-hmm. Tucson, what's on your heart, brother? Do we value our own time? Unmute, Tucson. Unmute, brother.
Yeah, I'm
There you go.
trying. I'm trying. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot of wasted time as far as I'm concerned, because
Mm-hmm.
um, again, with the society we live in, there's a lot of foolishness.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a bunch of it. I mean, you can see, and I hate to keep saying this, but I don't see the sense in TikTok
Mm-hmm.
as, to the extreme of what I see. We're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be teaching, people do what they want. I know it's fun, and I understand that sometimes you have to mix and mingle with your youth, children, your grandchildren, get involved in what they're doing to try to get that relationship. But these
Mm-hmm.
children are teaching us
Mm-hmm.
that we should say, girl, you shouldn't ought to be, you ought not be shaking your tail feather for the whole world to see. And,
Mm-hmm.
but then now we see that grandmother's in there with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
want to say we're 4 generations deep of dropping it like it's hot.
Mm-hmm.
What's the little? I'm trying to think about the little tone that keeps ringing in my ear when I can't. But when the TikTok and they start, they do the little thing, and then one generation passes, then they bring on the next generation. So when you say we value our own time, man,
You've been watching that, ain't you, Tucson?
I observe.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
that's
That's good. That's good.
why I said that.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is an experience. And
Mm-hmm.
see, we have um dropped our youth as far
Mm-hmm.
as spending time with them, trying to
Yeah.
bond that generation, break that generational gap.
Mm-hmm.
So is I be trying to figure out ways to communicate with them or see where they are to
Mm-hmm.
see how we can kind of draw them.
Yeah.
Um, I'm gonna have to tell you, I go to the extreme because we got this A B C D E F G generation. I'm gonna say
Mm-hmm.
it like that, but you understand what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Do
Mm-hmm.
you understand?
Yeah. I know
You
you. I know you.
understand?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that if a person is in quote the ministry,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a heaven or hell to put nobody in. All
Mm-hmm.
I know is there is a heaven that's for the majority of us as we accept it. Let me just give me a minute.
Okay.
We can't send everybody to hell because we
Mm-hmm.
don't agree with their lifestyle.
Yeah.
Pretty sure if you keep following me, you're gonna find out that Tucson got some skeletons in his closet.
Come on now. Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying,
Puff puff
I might
pass.
not, I might not like a man, and thank God that
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna just say that out loud.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
God
Yes, sir.
I
Yes,
don't
sir.
have that. Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm not trying to put disobedience in a category.
Mm-hmm.
How do we communicate with them or draw them if we just only thing when we got something to do is discredit what their lifestyle. All of
Mm-hmm.
us got, so I observe that kind of activity to kind of
Mm-hmm.
see where my conversation could come in somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
so I say I observe. You
Mm-hmm.
notice I said observe.
Absolutely. Pay attention.
Yeah.
Okay.
Close again.
Rico, do we and we talking about valuing time, other people valuing our time and us valuing our own time and 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 not wasting time. But do we sometimes waste time in the relationships that we establish with people?
Oh yeah, I mean, that goes back to what I was saying with the friend. That was, close to 30 years of friendship, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't been cutting quite a few of them off. I mean, I don't deal with quite. It's a number of people I don't deal with family wise or friend wise
Mm-hmm.
that I kept around too long,
Mm-hmm.
invested too much time into them, and I'm still cutting people off. You know what I'm saying? Because I have, for some reason, I was that person, and for some reason, everybody would call me and want to lean on my shoulder, and I take the time out to talk to them for an hour, 2 hours, whatever. I mean, man, you'd be surprised how long I don't sat on the phone with people. And then when I need to call them and talk to them, let me go turn the water off. I'll call you back.
Mm-hmm.
You talking on the cell phone. What you mean you got to go on, turn the water off and call me back? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let me go
Yeah.
see who ringing. Let me go see who ringing the doorbell.
Mm-hmm.
Man, come on, man. Lock the door. Anything.
Yeah.
Let me close the door. You will
Yeah.
hear it, man. You be like, oh, you ain't
Mm-hmm.
really got time to talk. You
Mm-hmm.
don't feel like talking, but when you got something going on, you can. But you know what? When you start talking about wasting time, the reason why we are so caught up in wasting time is because we are distracted by technology, entertainment, and recreation.
Mm-hmm.
So now you can sit back and watch people play sports all day. You can watch people on reality shows all day, or you can watch people do these worthless challenges.
Mm-hmm.
These challenges that people are just doing just to have something to do.
Yeah.
Some of them getting hurt. There's been some people
Mm-hmm.
died doing some of these challenges, making asses out of themselves,
Yeah.
self-deprecating. Was it the
Mm-hmm.
cinnamon challenge? You remember they used to do the cinnamon challenge?
Yeah.
Make
Yeah.
themselves cough. What was the purpose of that? Look at me, look at me, look at me. So you wasting time trying to get attention.
Mm-hmm.
You wasting
Exactly.
time trying to get recognition the wrong way when really and truly, if your values were in the right place, you wouldn't be trying to get attention by entertaining people. You would get attention by accomplishing,
Mm-hmm.
by being productive, by being constructive. So I mean, we all get caught up in it. I mean, we waste a lot of time, and most of the time, if we wasting time, we wasting money
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
doing it.
Exactly. Exactly. Good deal. Good deal. Sharon, what do you say to that? Do we sometimes waste in the relationship that we select? Do we waste time in that relationship? Do we stay in those relationships longer than what we should?
Yeah, I think that sometimes people do stay in relationships longer than what they should. They get
Mm-hmm.
comfortable in what they're doing,
Mm-hmm.
or in the relationship itself, and sometimes they are afraid to take and leave the relationship. It all depends on what the issues are that's going on with it. But as far as
Mm-hmm.
wasting time, yeah, I think we all waste time. I know I waste it. You waste it. We waste it every day trying to take in do what we feel should be done, even when it shouldn't be, because you want it to be the way that you think it should be. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I think we step outside the box trying to make things happen for others.
Mm-hmm. Do we overindulge too soon in trying to help other people?
You know what? If you are a giver, you'll wind up doing that regardless to whether you want to or not.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Hmm.
now if you're a taker, you're not gonna you're gonna it's gonna be all about you.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's about you.
Mm-hmm.
You it's a taker will if you don't watch it, it'll take advantage of somebody that is a giver, or one
Mm-hmm.
that has to be like Rico says. There's some people that I don't know why in the world. Sometimes I wonder why in the world am I drawn to people with issues?
Mm-hmm. Like a magnet.
You come to
Yeah.
me. Why you come to me? Why?
Mm-hmm.
Then I turn the block and hear somebody else with you. Now you got problems too.
Yeah.
And 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 see what happens is I have to stop
Yeah.
and say, okay, now I didn't talk to you. I didn't talk to you, and I'm kind of like Rico. I need talking to myself, and I
Mm-hmm.
can't keep to the guy in the mirror and answering. They say that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of close. That's kind of close to cray, brother.
when you have to analyze or sit back and have a conversation with yourself because nobody else is listening.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants you to be a part of what they're doing.
Yeah.
So if you're
Mm-hmm.
a part of everybody else's life, what life do you have of your own?
Exactly. Exactly. And Rico, some a fellow once said to me, he said, "Man, givers have to set limitations because takers don't have any. And so what they'll do, they'll take and continue to take like a leech until everything is gone, and then they'll move on to the next individual and continue that cycle of taking. So how do you set those boundaries?
You observe, like what Donald was saying earlier. You observe if it's actually fair and equal.
Mm-hmm.
When you think about how many times you have been there for this person, and then think about, I mean, sometimes you might just have to put a test out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if it ever crossed your mind. But especially before you find out the hard way that they ain't gonna be there for you when you need somebody to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you find a way to draw that line, man, and just sit back and think about all the times that you done sat that you have listened to this person's problems. Because see, it's easy for me to know when I've been there for somebody. You know, a lot of people will say, well, if you're gonna do it, or if you done been there for somebody, it ain't meant for you to throw it up. Well, the reason why it's easy for me to remember all the times that you don't call me and I don't had to talk to you to get you out of a situation or to just calm you down is because I'm an empath. I feel your pain.
Yeah.
So when you talking to me and telling me what you're going through, I'm actually putting myself in your shoes. That's
Mm-hmm.
why it's so important. You better appreciate me sitting here listening to this, because believe me, when I get off the phone with you, I'm probably still stuck with that, what you going through. Oh man,
Yeah.
golly, I
Yeah.
can't believe he going through that. Man, I
Mm-hmm.
can't believe she went through that. You know, and sometimes people can sense that in you, that kindness. You know, it's crazy, man. I mean, it's I've been places before, man. It actually seemed like I was just targeted. Boom, you good
Mm-hmm.
guy. And
Yeah.
then you hear people say, "Oh man, you're a good dude. You're a good dude." Yeah, and my daddy, he's even worse than me. When I tell you, man, that person is always there for people. But then
Mm-hmm.
when he needs somebody to listen to him, it's a whole different story. You
Yeah.
know, so I mean, if anybody's listening, they don't understand why it is important for you to appreciate somebody giving you that time to listen. Do understand that a lot of times when somebody is sincere and they're identified with what you're going through, they
Mm-hmm.
feeling your pain. They
Yeah.
are literally feeling your pain.
Mm-hmm. Sharon, do we carry other people's and standing in the conversation of time and wasting time? Do we spend too much time carrying other people's weight? Like Rico just said, you sit there, you talk to them, and a few hours later, or maybe a few days later, your mind is still caught up. And man, God Almighty, what can I do to help them? How can I help them? What do we need to do? Or do we spend too much time on stuff like that?
Um, yes, you do. We do. I mean, quite often people will come to you with problems. They may have found a resolution for that problem, but you're
Mm-hmm.
still trying to find another way to take and make it even better for them.
Mm-hmm.
And what they're doing and what their process is. I think that a lot of times we reach out, and when they come to us with problems, sometimes we will jump the gun and try to solve it for them. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you need to take a step back and let them solve it for themselves. But
Mm-hmm.
people that are givers, and we're really caring and stuff like that, we don't want to see anybody else hurting. So
Mm-hmm.
therefore, we go that extra mile to ensure that they feel better. And I think that a lot of times their problems do weigh heavier, sometimes heavier on us than it actually does on them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Is Tucson, is that a good thing that we care that much, man, or are we just overburdening ourselves?
Well, when we was talking, when you all was talking, I thought about, and probably every one of you can relate to, um, going to somebody to kind of get some insight or some help in something that you might be going through, and you wind up trying to. It winds up the conversation changes, and they
Mm-hmm.
telling you all about their issues.
Mm-hmm.
And I walk away from it. I find myself walking away from going to the person that I'm trying to get some help from tell me what you think. Here's what I'm going through. Here's what I'm facing. Just listen to me and tell me what have you ever experienced, and then they start pouring out to you again, and I'm saying to myself, well, wait a minute now. This this ain't, this ain't going the way I thought it would
They
go.
they always making it about them.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
See,
I mean, you tell them, okay, I'm having, for instance, I'm having
mm-hmm.
some relationship, and they say, well, you know what? I talked to a man. I started talking to a man about some issues, an older guy, and he said, man, let me tell you something. You say, my wife and I, we stay on different sides of the house. I said, oh Lord. Can't get no advice from you, buddy.
I might well go on by my business. This ain't gonna turn out right here. This is
He's
not gonna
gonna
turn
talk
out
about
well.
it. We've been doing this for years. I'm saying, well,
Don't say what you said, too, son. Don't even say what you said, brother. Don't. No,
thank
no,
you
no.
for stopping me. Thank
Yeah,
you. Appreciate it.
yeah. Hold on to what you said, brother. Don't put it out there. Look, look. We gonna stay holy today. Tiba, Tiba, what do you say to that? You go to somebody for some advice, and before you know it, they take the whole situation, and now they're sitting there trying to get advice out of you, pouring all their problems on you. You walk away still in the same situation, worse actually, because now you got their problems to carry.
Well, I find myself in that type of situation all the time where we just share, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I give that person opportunity to share what's on their heart, their things that they're going through. And then, of course, the conversation is going to go, well, you know what? I went through something similar like that, or I'm dealing with something now. And then you just kind of be an encouragement to each other. So usually I walk away feeling fulfilled because I was able to help you
Mm-hmm.
and you were able to help me, and we're both looking at our situations, encouraged and hopeful. So that's the way I do anyway. If
Mm-hmm.
you're sharing with me, I'm going to share with you, but it just depends also how deep theirs is, that I'll
Mm-hmm.
just want to listen and just hold mine's back because you really need to get it out. And sometimes it's not about what you going through all the time. So you just kind
Mm-hmm.
of have to play it by the situation. At least that's what I do. If it's very
Mm-hmm.
serious, then listen, we're going to talk about your situation, come to resolve, help you find some answers and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I tend to do it because, when you love somebody, their problems is not a burden to you, because at the end of the day, you gonna pray about it. You know what I'm saying? I don't
Mm-hmm.
take nobody's problem to I got my own, you know what I'm saying? I'm not
Yeah.
going to stick with your problems, We're gonna talk
Mm-hmm.
about it to the Lord, and at least that's how I do it, you know what I'm saying? Because you
Exactly.
can't
Yes.
carry the world on your shoulder. Only God can do
Mm-hmm.
that. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? We're not made to carry everybody's burdens and weights on us because we'll break down mentally, emotionally, and physically. So
Mm-hmm.
you can listen and talk, but at the end of that conversation, if you know God, hey, let's pray about it, or tell them, talk to God about it, or take it to God. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because I just can't hold nobody's problems. I can't. I ain't
Exactly.
going to sleep with it.
Exactly.
I'm not.
So, so Sharon, you can't just say, "No, I ain't got time for this. You got too much going on. I got to get away from you. Nah, man, I gotta go. You got too much going on. You can't say that.
No, you can't say that. If you're a true friend, you wouldn't say that. You would be there to listen and try to give some advice. You know, that's what they came to you from. They didn't trust you enough with their information, then they wouldn't have came to you for it. So,
Mm-hmm.
nah, you don't ever walk away from somebody like that.
But you can't say that, man. Every time I see y'all come, I be feeling good when I come around you, man. But you all get you every time I come over here, you pole mouthing and you're complaining and ain't nothing ever right, man. I ain't coming over here no more.
Now I got one friend that's just like that. Me and you
Yeah,
talked about that. That is totally draining. But
yeah, yeah.
because she is my friend, I listen to what she has to say. And I go ahead and sometimes I interject back into the conversation, something different, try to give her a different way of looking at it so that the
Mm-hmm.
burden won't seem so bad.
Yeah, yeah. That's good. But Rico, you like every time I come around, man, it's always some bad news, man. What anything good ever happened in your life, man? And then you almost want to cuss, Rico, how do you deal with that, man?
He
What do you do?
cussed.
Uh,
You try to be understanding. You try to be
mm-hmm.
understanding because see, if you care about somebody and you take the time out to listen, most of the time you gotta want to see them do good,
Uh-huh.
see them in a good place, want to
Mm-hmm.
see them be happy. So you taking that time out to listen because you hate to hear them in a bad place like that. You hate to hear them
Mm-hmm.
being sad or whatever they're struggling and going through. So you want to see if you can be of some kind of assistance to put them in a better place. But
Mm-hmm.
if they're always complaining or talking about people doing them wrong or something like that, and it gets to a point where you see that they are the reason, and ain't that they just too passive and people just running them over, but they're putting themselves in situations because of their values or what their agenda is. Maybe it's that they have certain desires and they don't want to let those things go, but every time they go into this direction, they get burned. Oh, that happened again. I done took another loss. Well, stay away from the casino.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I can't keep listening to you talking about losing money at the casino. Well, you know that's what's going to happen most of the time. You're gambling.
Yeah.
I can't hear this story again. You know what I'm saying? Just like I don't want to hear about you winning all the time. Now I'm getting tired of hearing these same stories all the time, and I'm gonna probably tell you sooner or later. If you don't catch the hint, I'm gonna finally get to it. But now if I call you to talk to you about something, you always try to turn around and make it about you. Sooner or later, I'm gonna cuss.
Yeah. Some cuss words coming out. Some cuss words,
coming, you know. But we like Tifa said something big. At some point in time, you will have to make it about you to let them know that you can relate to what they're saying. You get what I'm saying? I mean, because there have been times that I've listened to somebody and I could tell they don't think that I feel where they're coming from. So I have to come back and tell them, man, I know how you feel. When I went through this and that happened, this is the way I felt. So I feel you. And that works a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you do have to go back and put the story back on you to let them know that I'm listening to you. I'm letting you know so much that I'm listening that I could tell you when I've been in that same situation, same predicaments or something similar, and the way I felt about it. So now I know you ready to kill somebody.
Yeah.
I know you mad. I know you don't want to go to the police and you want to take care of yourself. You know? So I mean, sometimes you have to relate it back to you, but you do have those that, man, make it all about them, man. I mean, they always got the same complaint. And you try to be understanding like Tifa says.
Exactly. So, Tucson, you can't tell them, look here, man, I'm tired of hearing that mess, man. Go outside and tell it to your shouter. You can't tell them that. Talk to your shouter. Your shouter will listen to you.
No, you can't do that. But well, see, I don't try not to give advice, but I will. This is my favorite saying.
Let me say this to you. Tucson, let me say this. Tucson, let me say, I wish I could know exactly what's on your mind right now, brother. I wish I could know exactly, because you laughing a lot, man. There's something you saying, but there's some things you ain't saying right now. But go ahead, man.
Okay, let me tell you what I thought about. A young man came to me, and he was upset, and he was gonna go to the church and jump on the pastor. Did you hear what I said?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I heard you.
Hey, man, ain't too many reasons. It ain't but one reason that a man want to jump on a pastor.
Exactly. Yeah.
Only but one.
One reason.
No, but it was, he wasn't doing that. But this is my favorite.
He might have stole some money.
Yeah.
This is my favorite saying. Let me tell you what's going to happen. Now you go ahead and see how that's going to work out for you.
Yeah.
That's my favorite saying. I'm going to give you the scenario. Okay, here it is. You are going to jump on this old pastor, not no young man. This old pastor with sons and daughters, and the church love him.
Well, them deacons gonna beat the brakes off you in that church. Them deacons gonna beat the brakes off. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen, man. You know, if his family don't get to you, them deacons gonna beat the brakes off of you.
The congregation,
yes, sir.
The people in the neighborhood might pile up in the church and get some.
I'm trying to tell you. So here's what you can do. You can either go home or you go on down there and see how that work out.
Yeah.
And you know what you do? Man, I appreciate you. I'm going to bed.
I'm gonna tell you one thing. He lucky he made one stop before he got to that church. I'm gonna tell you something, because had he not made that one stop before he got to that church, Sharon, he'd have been in trouble.
Yep, I totally agree. He made the right decision. Go home and get in bed.
Yeah. Sleep it off, brother. Sleep it off. Tiva, it would not have been pretty. It wouldn't have been pretty.
Not at all.
Tiva, can you hear me? I think she's muted there.
Working with that mute button.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
exactly.
can hear you.
Okay. It wouldn't have been pretty, huh?
I can hear you.
I
No,
said
it
it
wouldn't
would.
have been pretty. It not at
Mm-hmm.
all.
Mm-hmm.
I
Now
said no,
we
it wouldn't have been pretty.
not
Go
exactly
ahead.
we got 4 minutes before we get out of here, man. Let's I'm gonna go around and everybody say anything they want to say in their closing. Let's keep it about this value and valuing of time. What advice would you give somebody if they felt that their time was not valued? People, what advice would you give them?
If you feel that your advice, your time is not valued, let that person know.
Mm-hmm.
Communication is always key. And that's how
Mm-hmm.
you save relationships, by communicating with them. You are crossing boundaries with me. You're making me feel some type of way. You're not respecting me. And I want you to stop. And if they can't respect it after that, then,
Mm-hmm.
hey, it's unsalvageable. But if they really want to maintain the relationship or the friendship or the bond, they're going to listen to you, because they may not know, because you're always that go-to person. Sometimes you got to say stop,
Yeah,
enough.
yeah, that's good.
Otherwise, they'll keep
Good.
running
Yeah,
over you and keep doing it to you. So yeah.
exactly. Sean, what do you say to him? What kind of advice would you give? So you don't want to be that doormat or whatever. You don't want to be that person. So what do you do? How do you handle it? Unmute, sis. Unmute.
Basically, you just have to take a step back out the situation. You let a person know how you're feeling without hurting their feelings, but you got to just be pretty firm and let them know that, hey, it's time for you to, I'm here for you if you truly need me to be here for you. But you know
Mm-hmm.
what? Right now, I got to take and focus more on me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Tucson, talk to me in your closing, sir.
I tried something and I'm trying that more and more. Take about 3 days and live
Mm-hmm.
by the minute and see how much in a 24-hour period, see how much you accomplish. See
Mm-hmm.
how much time is yours, or see how much time you waste time giving people part of you and they don't appreciate it.
Mm. Wow, that's good. That's good.
See
Rico,
how that works.
see how that work out for you. Yes, sir.
I say, there's a time and a place for everything. The thing is it the right time and the right place?
Mm-hmm.
And if you really appreciate your time appropriately, then it should be the right time and right place. But it all really depends on the atmosphere and what the situation is. Earlier we were speaking about delivering bad news. What was the right time to do it? And Tiva, I agreed at the beginning. She was like, the right time is right then and there. But then I thought about that documentary I was telling you about, Finding Kendrick Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
And his father was on the road. He was a truck driver when he found out that they found his body at that school. When he was
Mm-hmm.
missing, he was on the road. But when he was coming back home to try to come and fix the situation, they found his body. So that's when he found out he was dead. He was all alone on the road with a huge load on his back,
Mm.
on his trailer. And he said that he had to pull over because he almost had an accident. And I thought about how it felt sometimes when you got that shocking news, how your mind just went completely out of where you were, and you felt like you were euphoric. You felt like it was a dream. You can't remember nothing that went on that day or what you were doing. That can be a dangerous thing. So, there's a time and a place for everything. Even with bad news, you might have to hold off and wait till a person gets somewhere stable.
Yeah.
So they don't, and even with good news, because, man, imagine finding out you won a lottery driving down the road.
Mm. Mm.
Ain't no telling how excited you might get.
Yeah.
And have an accident. So
that feet to get real heavy on the gas pedal.
Right. So yeah, I mean, you trying to get somewhere fast, but at the same time, it's good sometimes for you to just actually be observant of the right time and the right place to do certain things. and appreciate that time.
Exactly. Well, it's time for us to get out of here. 7 o'clock, top of the hour, time for us to get out of here. Tiva, pray us out, sis. Can you pray us out?
Yes, I'll pray us out. Father God, in the name of Jesus, Lord, we thank you for this time of sharing, this time of fellowship, Lord. I just pray that those that are listening tonight will find help, will find grace, will find whatever they're looking for, God, that you will meet them right where they are and continue to bless each and every one of us with life, health, and strength. Sustain us in our bodies. Bless our families until we meet again. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. It's been a great broadcast. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow, Lord. Only one truth for being a part of your day. Lord, I say that so much, boy, it's stuck in me. Let me see what we got here. Okay, there we go. It is now 7:01. You're about to exit Only One Truth. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. And then we shine some of this light on you from Only One Truth. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? You all have a great day. Love you, and take care of each other. Be blessed.
Love y'all. Bye-bye.